What's your view on my controversial take of the Fender agenda? Now, I just thought I'd have a Fender, just to add to the controversy. Now, I'm going to have a few points here. A few might be controversial. Some you may agree with, some you may disagree with. You may want to drop a comment and correct me on anything below or argue about what case you may have. But the first thing for me, whichever way the decision goes, whether it's in favour of Fender or against Fender, it needs to be fair for everybody. So it needs to be the one clear rule for all guitar builders. At the moment, it seems to be anyone can make the Fender Stratocaster, but I'm not too sure that anyone can say make a Novo Series J. Now that's a cool guitar, but is, say, Fender allowed to make an exact replica of a Novo Series J? Now, so the rule needs to be the same for all, whichever way it goes. It needs to be anyone can make the Fender Stratocaster shape, and anyone can make any guitar shape, or only Fender can make their shape, and only, say, Novo or Suhr can make their shapes. Both sides are probably not being completely honest. One is all these other builders, whether they're big or even small, they say they're building a Stratocaster shape, but that's just being a little bit dishonest. They call it an S-type, but reality is it's a Fender shape. That's just reality. It's a Fender shape. They're copying Fender. If Fender had to call it Fender Zizu, it would have been a Zizu shape, but it's a Fender shape. So they are copying Fender. That's 100%. And Fender's not being that honest. They're talking about integrity and morals and all sorts of heritage, but they just want the money and monopoly, and that's what they want. So I do understand. I try to understand both sides and being a neutral. Now, just to favour me personally, I'd prefer it if the law was you can't copyright a shape. Anyone can make any guitar shape, because then we have different builders building the same shape and they push each other and they build high quality guitars. And that's probably why many people don't want to see it go through, because we want higher quality guitars. But it needs to be the same for everyone. You can't just have anyone can make a Fender, but no one else is allowed to make a Novo Series J replica or any other guitar. But Fender, anyone can do that. All the other guitars can be copyrighted. Well, everyone makes Les Paul shapes too, don't they? So, but it needs to be the same for everyone. So if you can make a Fender, then Fender should be able to make their own version of the Novo Series J. I'm just using that one because it's cool. It needs to be even across the board. You can't have it one way and not the other. And it also opens up a big can of worms, doesn't it? Like, if you can copyright a shape, well, what happens to all the acoustics? I don't think there's one back there. Who invented that shape? So Fender may have to stop making acoustics. So it'd be ridiculous. So it has to be for electrics and the acoustics. Then you got amps. I mean, there's a little Spark Mini. It's a box. All amps look the same. They've all got the same shape, a box. Does anyone own that shape? I don't know why you can seem to be able to copyright a headstock, but not that. Why is that different to that? One example, you might think of Lamborghini and Ferrari. Now, are they allowed to copy each other? Probably not, but they're both really cool shapes, but they're both different. But even say like Ford probably can't just build an exact replica of a new or old Ferrari and just whack a Ford badge on it and say, oh, look, it's ours now. We just use your exact shape. It's built by Ford though, so it's a Ford. They probably wouldn't get away with it, but at the moment, we can do it with guitars. And like I said, I'm not for or against. I don't know enough about it. I'm not a lawyer, but it needs to be the same for everyone. Now, if the ruling does favour Fender and they say no one else can make the Fender shape anymore, it's a very simple fix. All these guitar companies have to do is just alter their shape a little bit and they can still build the same awesome guitar. Like the PRS Silver Sky, they don't need to have it identical to the Fender Stratocaster shape. They can make their own original. So if I was a CEO or a guitar builder, I wouldn't want to copy someone. I'd want to be original. And I'm sort of put off. If I was going to buy a PRS, which if I had the money, I'd just keep buying guitars, but I ran out of money. Wasted. It's not a waste if you like it. But I would be interested in the original PRS shape because it's cool, it's original, and it's theirs, and they put thought into it, imagination, hard work. For the Silver Sky, they just said, oh, let's just copy someone else. Let's not try. And it goes with the same of anyone who makes the Fender Stratocaster shape with Suhr guitars. They make other shapes, but why not push to be original? Like, it puts me off. I think, why just copy someone else? Push to be original. So that's the answer. If it goes the Fender way, it's simple fix, slight change, push to be original. Now, what these companies can use for an example is Samurai Guitarist or Guitar Samurai. I'm not sure which way his name goes. And I think his name is, I wrote it down. I know it's Steve. I think it's Steve Onotera, and he's got his own guitar and it's original. He hasn't copied Fender or Gibson in any way. He's made his own original. And I would be more interested in his guitar than a Silver Sky because he's put original thought into it. And it's cool. I'll see if I can show you a pic. Here's the pic on my other phone. I don't know if it's going to show up very well, but let's just take a look. Now, how cool is that? That's a cool design. There's no need to copy the Fender shape. And look at this other one. This is from, I've never even heard of this guitar till I saw it from Laozon Music, which looks like an amazing guitar store with super expensive guitars. But this guitar, it is super expensive, but look how awesome it is. It's called write the comment if you've heard of it before, but I'm still pretty new. It's called a Castidosa Maravilla. It's super expensive, but look how awesome. If I had the cash, I mean, if we all had the cash, we'd go buy this, and this is original and absolutely epic. So that's how simple the solution is. Start being original, build some original shapes, and we may get some, if it does go Fender's way, the good news is we may get some really cool new original shapes coming out, and it could be an awesome future for guitar. So do you have your thoughts? Any disagreements? I'm happy to be corrected on anything. Drop a comment below and we'll have a discussion. But in the meantime, don't get too stressed about it. What you should be doing is having a bit of a rock out.